Somebody got a problem. Don't know what, but how are people supposed to use a sidewalk when it's all blocked up with this crap? What the hell? This is a senior zone. Keep them out of this neighborhood.
Regulations are getting worse. It's not getting better.
People are bailing on California in record numbers.
More than half of Californians are considering moving. It might be harder to find a U-Haul than to find your next home.
The exodus of people moving out of California is not new.
No sane person would want to leave California if they could make it here.
This past Monday, a fellow was shot out behind where I live. He was homeless. He got one in the chest and 3 in the back, and he died on his way to the hospital. I mean, did he owe somebody some money for something? I have no idea. It's getting ridiculous. And it was a black on black. Ain't no white supremacist shot him.
My life. And wasted opportunities and privileges I was afforded. For that, I'm responsible. For that, I'm accountable. And for that, I'm making amends. For 6 years, I've been the target of the unrelenting Trump attack machine shouting, "Where's Hunter?" Well, here's my answer. I am here. Let me state as clearly as I can. My father was not financially involved in my business.
Bullshit,
not as a
Hunter.
practicing lawyer, not as a board member of Burisma, not in my partnership with a Chinese private businessman, not in my investments at home nor abroad, and certainly not as an artist.
House Republicans have subpoenaed Hunter Biden as part of an investigation into whether President Biden committed an impeachable offense in his family's dealings. Hunter Biden says he's willing to testify publicly in the investigation into his father, but not willing to sit for a closed-door deposition.
GOP leaders previously said they would hold Hunter in contempt of Congress if he ignores their subpoena. Hunter Biden's lawyers wanted any testimony to be public over concerns that comments might be taken out of context.
Republicans
bullshit.
say filming the deposition and releasing the transcript would prevent that. Here are House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan and Oversight Chairman James Comer reacting to Hunter Biden's refusal.
We're disappointed that he didn't show up. I mean, he was just across the way at the Capitol. You'd think he could have come here and sat for questions. If you do it in an open format now, you're gonna get filibusters, you're gonna get speeches, you're gonna get all kinds of things. What we want is the facts, and the way you get the facts in every single investigation I've been involved in is you bring people in for an interview behind closed doors where you can get those facts, and then, as the chairman said, we'd love for him to come public.
This is an investigation about public corruption at the highest levels. We have accumulated mountains of evidence that's concerning to an overwhelming majority of Americans. We have specific questions in there, and I think we're going to allow you in there to see the piles and piles of documents, of bank statements, of emails, of text messages that we worked very hard on in this committee over the last...
Modern history saw an unprecedented counterculture movement sweeping from east to west. In contrast to the Cultural Revolution of the Chinese Communists, the Western counterculture movement appeared to have multiple focuses, or rather to lack any focus. Over the decade from the 1960s to the 1970s, the mostly young participants of the counterculture movement were motivated by various pursuits. Some opposed the Vietnam War, some fought for civil rights, some advocated for feminism and denounced father figures, some strove for homosexual rights. Topping this off was a dazzling spectacle of movements against tradition and authority that advocated sexual freedom, hedonism, narcotics, and rock music. The goal of this Western cultural revolution is to destroy the upright Christian civilization and its traditional culture. While apparently disordered and chaotic, this international cultural shift stems from communism. Youthful participants of the counterculture movement revered 3 idols as the 3 M's: Marx, Marcuse, and Mao Zedong. Herbert Marcuse was a key member of the Frankfurt School, a group of Marxist intellectuals associated with the Institute for Social Research at the Frankfurt University. First established in 1923, its founders used the concept of critical theory to attack Western civilization and apply Marxism to the cultural sphere. One of the school's founders was Hungarian Marxist Georgi Lukács. In 1919, he famously asked, "Who will save us from Western civilization?" Elaborating on this, he said that the West is guilty of genocidal crimes against every civilization and culture it has encountered. American and Western civilization, according to Lukács, are the world's greatest repositories of racism, sexism, nativism, xenophobia, anti-Semitism, fascism, and narcissism. In 1935, the Frankfurt School Marxists relocated to the United States and became affiliated with Columbia University in New York. This gave them an opening to disseminate their theories on American soil. With the assistance of other leftist scholars, they corrupted several generations of American youth. Combining Marxism with Freudian pansexualism, Marcuse's theories catalyzed the sexual liberation movement. Marcuse believed that repression of one's nature in capitalist society hindered liberation and freedom. Therefore, it was necessary to oppose all traditional religions, morality, order, and authority in order to transform society's famous work, Eros and Civilization, occupies an important place among the vast amount of works of Frankfurt scholars for two specific reasons. First, the book combines the thoughts from Marx and Freud and turns Marxist critiques on politics and economy into a critique on culture and psychology. The book also built bridges between Frankfurt theorists and the young readers, enabling the cultural rebellion of the 1960s. Marcuse said, quote, "The counterculture movement can be called a cultural revolution, since the protest is directed toward the whole cultural establishment, including the morality of existing society. There is one thing we can say with complete assurance. The traditional idea of revolution and the traditional strategy of revolution has ended. These ideas are old-fashioned. What we must undertake is a type of diffused and dispersed disintegration of the system." Few among the rebellious youths could grasp the mysterious theories of the Frankfurt School, but Marcuse's ideas were simple. Be anti-tradition, anti-authority, and anti-morality. Indulge in sex, drugs, and rock and roll without restraint. Quote, "Make love, not war. As long as you say no to all authority and social norms, you are counted as a participant in the noble revolutionary cause." It was
To get to the bottom of these questions.
Jason, what do we know about the potential outcome of any impeachment inquiry vote here?
I think you're going to see the impeachment inquiry move forward very quickly and swiftly. Unlike in the previous impeachments of Donald Trump, the previous two impeachments where Donald Trump was actually impeached for investigating and looking into the corruption of the Biden crime family, this is an impeachment worth having. And I think that the House is going to put a very public trial on, showing all of the evidence that they've gathered over the last several months so that the American people can understand that the president of the United States of America is compromised. He converted his crackhead son into a bagman to collect and split the millions of dollars of graft that they took from all around the world, from corrupt countries. And the American people are going to see that.
Now let's talk about Mike Johnson. It's him and not Kevin McCarthy, who's the Speaker of the House right now. How does that factor into all of this?
Yeah, so I can personally tell you I had a lunch over here in Manhattan about a week ago, Sunday, with Speaker Johnson. And I think he's up to the task. I think he's going to put the armor of God on, and he's going to go in and he's going to do what the American people want him to do. And like I said earlier, it should have happened 8 to 10 months ago. But I now think you have a speaker, thanks to Matt Gaetz, who's willing to do the people's work. And that's what needs to happen, because we, again, have a president that is completely compromised sitting at the White House.
And you touched on this a little bit before, but can you compare and contrast a bit more the Democrats' impeachment inquiry of Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, and the Republicans' impeachment inquiry of President Biden?
Sure. you had a perfect phone call between President Zelensky and President Trump back in 2019 when the Democrats weaponized the impeachment process, okay, and basically impeached Donald Trump for everything that Joe Biden has done. And now you're going to see all of the evidence, like I said, the bank records, the White House visitor logs, the Air Force Two travel logs, all of the bank records and shell companies that the Joe Biden family created to obfuscate and hide all the money that they were taking from these corrupt regimes all around the world. So you're going to have a real impeachment trial with real evidence, with real bank records showing that the President of the United States is completely compromised and must be not only impeached, but prosecuted for treason, extortion, and bribery. And that's going to happen as we unfold this impeachment inquiry.
All right, Jason Meister, Republican strategist and former Trump Advisory Board member, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Hey everyone, it's me, Sebastian, and it is a beautiful day today. We have so much to be grateful for, so just remember, if you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours. I just love inspiring people to be the best they can be, and the reason I'm able to inspire so many people is because people like you who inspire me with your support of Shriners Hospitals for Children. Since I was little, I've broken 100 bones, and I've had 19 surgeries. Shriners Hospitals for Children was with me every step of the way. But more than that, they've given me the confidence to know I could do whatever I set my mind to. Like right now, I've set my mind to sharing my smile with you. Did you get it?
Because of people like you, I can play the violin.
I can play the piano.
I can understand.
The help I get is only possible because of caring people like you who pick up the phone and call the number on your screen to make your monthly gift.
And when you call or go online right now to donate $19 a month or more, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of all the smiles you're bringing to kids' faces every day.
Kids like me.
And me.
And me.
And me. So what are you waiting for? You can inspire kids like me by visiting loveshriners.org. After all, you can't help everyone.
And turning to the latest updates on the war in Gaza. Israel says the war will continue with or without international support.
That after a rare criticism from President Biden.
Israel said at least 9 troops were killed yesterday when Hamas ambushed them in Gaza City. Israel began pumping seawater into Hamas underground tunnels in an effort to clear the terrorists out.
The Biden administration announced the 4th round of sanctions against Hamas leaders. This targets 8 senior officials and those who helped their operations.
The United Nations on Tuesday voted overwhelmingly to call for a ceasefire in the war. The U.S. voted against it, but in a rare move, Biden said Israel is losing support for bombing Gaza.
The U.S. warship in the region shot down another drone by the Houthis over the Red Sea. Next week, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin will be visiting the Middle East, including Bahrain, Qatar, and Israel.
Will university presidents be condemned for their congressional testimony on anti-Semitism? The House will be voting on a resolution today addressing the issue. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik introduced this bipartisan resolution. She's one of the lawmakers who questioned 3 university presidents on anti-Semitism during a hearing last week.
She asked whether calling for the genocide of Jews violates the school's code of conduct. The UPenn president and the Harvard president said it depends on the context.
The hearing
It
has
depends on the
viral
content.
as the presidents faced intense
Oh
backlash
my
for their
God.
response. Stefanik's resolution would condemn the college president's testimony as well as anti-Semitism on college campuses.
She said this is not a partisan issue, but a question of moral clarity.
And the
Moral
Education
clarity.
Department is also taking action. The department's Office for Civil Rights said they will investigate 6 colleges for alleged discrimination including anti-Semitic and Islamophobic discrimination.
The schools are Stanford University, ACLU, UC San Diego, Rutgers University, the University of Washington, and Whitman College in Walla Walla, Washington.
It's unclear what incidents led to the investigation, but the schools allegedly violated Title VI of the Civil Rights Act.
It prohibits discrimination based on race, ethnicity, or national origin. Police in Michigan are